everyone, happy Canada Day. My name is Marie. Thank you for being here. I would like to start by thanking our sponsors who made this hop possible. For my card today, I'm going to use the Inseparable stamp set and coordinating die set and the Fairyland alphabet dies from Penguin Palace, a Canadian company based in Vancouver, BC. They ship worldwide, so I would encourage you to go see their website. They have a super cute stamp. I really love that company. To make my card today, I'm also going to use some Copic friendly cardstock and ink, and I will use some Distress Oxide ink for ink blending. So first, I stamped all the images from the stamp set on Neenah Solar White cardstock. I like to use the 110 weight. I stamp with Gina K Amalgam ink. That's a good ink for compatible with the Copic alcohol-based markers. Since I was going to color an image of a bunny hugging a koala and I didn't want my whole image to turn gray or to be gray, I decided to go with a brown bunny hugging a gray koala. And I use my Copic chart of all the markers that I have to figure out which color will go best together. What I do when I color with Copics is that I start with the lightest shade. I always pick 3 shades, maybe 4, but now this is a small image, so 3 shades will do. And I start with the lightest and I color the whole image. Then I will take my medium shade and I will try to figure out where the shading is on the image, and I will go add a line over there. I try to keep the lighter color fairly big, like I add the medium shade, just a little bit of the medium shade, because I know that I'm going to add the third shade, the very dark one, and I'll come back with the medium, and that will eat up a lot of the lightest shade, if that makes sense. So now you see me adding the very dark brown, and then I will come again with the medium one to fade that line. And after I'm done with the medium one, I'll go back again with the very light shade. So I really try to leave a lot of space for the very light shade. When I didn't do that at the beginning, my images were always ending up too dark. Like the medium shade would be everywhere in the bunny. So now I try to be conscious of leaving a lot of space for the very light shade. When this is still wet, I use the R30 for the cheeks and the inside of the ears. That's the color I find that is best. It's not too pinkish, it's really like a light red. And I just add some dots right under the eyes, and it doesn't look super good when I apply it like this, but then I just let it work. I don't touch it, and alcohol ink needs some time to work. So while this is working and blending, I will work on my koala. For the koala, I'm using the W grays, so it's the warm grays. I've learned once that the warm grays are for living objects, like animals, and that the cool grays are for non-living things, like a car or a plane. Sometimes when I have 2 gray animals, like, you know, when I have many animals, and some of them have to be gray, then I will use one cool one and one gray one, just to make some diversity on the card. So here again, I started with my very light gray. I'm using 4 shades of grays here. So I started with the very light, then the second lightest, the third lightest, and then the very dark, and then back. now that I'm done coloring all my images that I will need for my card, I cut them with the coordinating die set that goes with the stamps that I used. I used this purple tape to hold my dies in place, and I try to take away the sticky from the tape by using my fingers like this under the tape. And this is so that the tape doesn't tear my paper when I take it off the paper. So now that all my images are colored and cut out, I'm going to use the Fairyland alphabet dies to cut out the words "Hey Bestie" on a white cardstock panel. The black square that you see under my dies is a sheet of magnet, and I use that to store my dies when I'm not using them so that I don't lose them. So now I'm going to place my cardstock directly on the mat that is going to go through the die cutting machine. And again, I'm placing the dies and I'm going to stick them in place with the purple tape. Again, taking the sticky off a little bit with my fingers so that the cardstock doesn't get damaged. The E is going to be used several times, so I will have to get my cardstock through the die cutting machine 3 times. I'm also going to add a frame around those 2 words. So when I pass the cardstock the 3rd time, I'm going to add the frame. And here you have my panel all finished and cut out. So next I want to have some blended ink showing through the "Hey Bestie" openings. But first I found that I have some glue left from the purple tape, so I'm using this eraser to take away the sticky that is left. And to know where to put my ink, I'm going to place my cardstock where I want it and just draw some lines with a lead pencil. I first tried to draw the line like all across my cardstock, but then I found out that the ink was blending with the lead pencil, so now for the second try, I just added some small lines to the side of the cardstock, and I'm not going to blend them in the ink. You can use whatever color you want. I decided to use milled lavender, worn lipstick, twisted citron, and salvaged patina, and I found that these are a great color combo. I use these brushes to blend the ink. I have 1 brush per color family. I'm going to blend together the lavender and the pink, and then I will blend together the green and the blue, but the green and the red will not touch. I used the frame die to make sure that the back and the front panels would be the same size. And then I found a cardstock that would show around my panel. I could have gone with many colors, they were all pretty, but I decided to go with the darker shade of pink. I used some double-sided tape to add the pink panel and the ink blended panel to the card base. And I used some foam tape to add the Hey Bestie panel so that there would be a little gap between the ink panel and the die cut panel. I then decided to add 1 more sentiment. So with my Misty, I placed the stamp on the card. I had to take away the foam pad because my card was at this point pretty thick, but that worked out perfectly. For a very crisp image, I used the VersaFine ink. If you don't need to color with Copics, that's totally fine, and I find it makes a better impression. I then adhered all my images with some foam tape and some glue dots to vary the dimension. And as a final touch, I decided to add some sequins. So here you have my finished card. Thank you again for Penguin Palace for sponsoring me. I truly love this company and I urge you to go to their website and see what they offer. I made 2 more cards with the same stamps and dies. Thank you for all the sponsors. Now leave a comment here, a like and subscribe, and hop over to the next video to win some more prizes. For all the details for this hop, head over to Emily's blog. Thank you. Bye.